Hey there, friends. I am back today with my first video in a very long time to show you my first full traveler's notebook of 2017. It is very full and very chunky, and I am absolutely in love with it and all of the fun layouts that are inside of it. I mean, just look at it. It's stuffed to the brim, and I am so obsessed. Um, Sorry for the shadowing. I am filming without lights right now, so we're going to do a little bit of natural lighting. And I will also mention it's my first time filming with this setup up here, so if things get a little wobbly, please forgive me. And also, before we get started, I will mention that this traveler's notebook is from Felicity Jane, and her inserts are my absolute favorite. I mean, not only is the cover absolutely beautiful, but the pages inside, the quality is amazing. So this floral cover is my favorite, and I'm covering that page because we're going to get into that in a minute, but the pattern is different on each side, and like I said, the quality is just the best. You can't beat it. The pages are super white and super thick, and they're only $4.95 each, so I just highly, highly recommend them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to focus us here, and here we go. So, being the perfectionist that I am, I felt weird not having an intro page, so I went ahead and popped this in last minute, and it's crooked and it's not perfect, but I absolutely love it. And the quote right there says, "To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong." And I think that quote is so perfect in so many ways, but also as a perfectionist, I need that reminder constantly, especially with a few of the layouts in here, which we'll get into those stories later, but I just thought that that was the perfect way to start off this book and to give myself that reminder that I need. So, jumping in here, what am I doing? Why am I taking so long? Oh, I'm still talking about the quote. Still talking about it. Oh, also, in case you're wondering, those stickers are from Doodle. Hold on, I'm going to look for you. Doodles Do stickers. Okay, and I'll link them below. So this first layout has a full page photo, and this little polka dot insert thing that I put in here is actually from a bag that I ordered a few extra things from Felicity Jane one month, and Gina put those items in a little bag and then put them in my kit, and so I cut that out and added it in there as like an extra page, and I really like the way it looks laid over that photo. And then there's the other side with a quote from Dumbledore, of course. Oh, and that layout was with Felicity Jane products. So this layout is using Gossamer Blue products, and you'll notice some black smudged off on the left side there, and that's because for a while I was using a certain type of photo paper, and the black from the photos would rub off onto the paper. So it doesn't really bother me, but if you see some black smudges on these layouts, it's a common theme, that's why. And if you have any questions about which kits I use for these layouts, go to my Instagram, which I'll link below, and I post a photo of each one of them, and I tell you what products I use or what kits from what brand. So those questions are all answered on Instagram. So I really like the way this layout turned out, the simplicity of it, and the color scheme. Then going into this one is using the Reset Girl products from the collection A Lovely Life. And I remember that mainly because I used the title right there as my title for this layout. And there's a lot of black smudging on this. It turned out really cute at first, and then it turned into a whole lot of mess, and you'll see why when I flip that page. Just give me a second, because I filmed this and I talked, but you couldn't hear me using my iPhone. What am I trying to say? You couldn't hear me using my iPhone mic, so I'm doing a voiceover now to kind of make you be able to hear what I was actually saying. So that's why that page turned out all warpy. I decided to try some watercolor art, I guess you could call it, with watercolor pencils, and silly me didn't put any acrylic paint or gesso or anything down first, and the water just warped those pages like crazy and then soaked through and caused a funk on my other layout. So I just put a little like yikes with a sad face, and then I moved forward, and next page was really warpy, so I just glued them together and pretended like it never happened. And you know what? Honestly, it helps the perfectionist in me, and then I can always look back on this and remember that absolutely hilarious disaster that happened that day when I was like having a heart attack over it. Moving on, this is from the Reset Girl Faith collection, or the products are. I don't know what I was talking about there, but we'll just pretend like that didn't happen. Uh, so I really like the way this layout turned out. I don't really have too much to say about it. Apparently in the first video I did, or the first voiceover I did, but I am really loving the way it turned out, and it's one of my favorites in the whole book. This one is using Gossamer Blue products, and that photo is actually printed on a matte paper, and I love photos printed on matte paper, and you'll also notice that this one didn't get any black smearing, mainly because it's a different type of paper, and I just really love the way this layout turned out. It's so simple, but every time I look at it, I just love it more and more. This is using Felicity Jane products, and I was actually doing a post on the Felicity Jane blog about how to do a traveler's notebook layout without any photos, because sometimes you just want to create and you don't have a specific photo or memory or day that you're trying to document. And this is actually the only spread in this notebook that doesn't have a photo, and I really like the way it turned out. It's a fun, bright, and colorful layout, and I really, really love those flowers in the top left corner. This is using Felicity Jane products again. It's a super simple layout with a lot of white space on that page right there, and it's just a layout of me and my cat Ellie, and she makes me happy, so that little stamp right there was perfect. And then we have this one, with this one you'll notice features Andrea of Retro Hip Mama. And that day we went to Hobby Lobby and we got Starbucks and we went to Target, and it was just a really fun girls' day, and I just adore her and our friendship, so I knew I needed to put that photo into my traveler's notebook, and so I used Gossamer Blue products to do that. This one is using Felicity Jane products again, and I love the way this one turned out. It's funny, the story I'm documenting is about how I went clothes shopping and it was like 80 or 90 degrees, but I didn't leave with any summer clothes. I managed to buy a sweater and a super thick blanket scarf. But in my defense, they were on sale, so when the cool weather finally rolls around, I guess I'll be prepared. I love this Felicity Jane kit. It was full of muted colors, and if y'all follow me on Instagram, you know muted colors are my jam. So I was really happy with this one. Next, what do we have next? Oh, still talking. There we go. Next is, oh, it's also Felicity Jane, and those photos are not from the same day. That's what I was talking about in the first voiceover. I think in the first one I have my long hair, and the second one I have my short hair. I'm wearing different shirts. My hair is different. But I just really liked the photo, or both photos, and I just wanted to document them on the same layout. So that's exactly what I did, and I wrote a little blurb about finding something good in every day, and I was really happy with how that one turned out. So this one is also Felicity Jane. You'll notice that I use pretty much the same brands in all of my projects because they're just the brands that I adore, and the products are ones that I really love. So this one, I put a little piece of vellum in there, and this is one of my favorite layouts in the whole traveler's notebook because of that little piece of vellum, honestly. Not only is the vellum gorgeous, but I mean, I don't know what else I was trying to say there. I'm like looking at this video. I'm doing this voiceover and I'm watching the video while I do it, and I'm getting distracted because the vellum is so pretty. So if that doesn't tell you about the layout, then I don't know what will. Oh, I was talking about how I'm trying to take more photos when I feel good about myself, and that particular day I was having a good hair day and I felt good about myself. So I took some funny selfies and then I was documenting them with that pretty vellum. Okay, this one is using the Reset Girl kit. This is the Retreat kit, and it is my favorite layout, my #1 favorite layout in the entire Traveler's Notebook, because look at that washi and those little heart wood veneer pieces, how well they go with the planner honey, and the wood grain. I just adore it. And that's of me and my cat Fiona, and she's my girl. We spend all day together since I work from home, and I talk to her, and I mean, I'd like to think she talks back, but it's really just her meowing at me to give her food. And then the last layout in this insert is actually a funny story. Oh, I was talking about how it's of me and Cody's parents' dog, Layla. So I saw Andrea of Retro Hit Mama posted a process video of her doing a Traveler's Notebook insert spread, and she did it outside of her insert, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. I have done all of my previous layouts inside of my notebook, and I didn't ever think about doing them outside and then putting them in. So I was like, I'm going to try that this time. And I used these two papers from Gossamer Blue from the Traveler's Notebook kit, and I went to town. I did my layout outside of the insert. I was so proud of myself. I was so excited. And then I realized I didn't trim the paper down before I did the layouts, or before I did the layout. So they were all centered on these pieces of paper that were way too big for this notebook. So you can't tell from far away, but then I had to like awkwardly cut this layout after it was already in there. It's all like jagged and weird now if you look at it up close. And again, it's no big deal. It's just hilarious that I saw how smoothly and how wonderfully it worked for her. And then for me, it was like a massive disaster. And I mean, looking back, it's absolutely hilarious. And I'm really happy with the way the layout turned out. But like, I just learned that I do better inside of the Traveler's Notebook rather than outside. And then last we have, there we go. Last I have the end page, and it felt weird having an intro page and no end page, so I just did a little bit of paint splattering and wrote the end. And those cute polka dot letters are from Felicity Jane, if you're wondering, the alphas. And I love how chunky it is. I love how it turned out, and I'm just really happy with it. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I think I'm going to wave my thumbs here in a minute. You'll see them. That was signifying. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun and crafty videos to come. Hopefully I'll have there they are. Hopefully I'll have my lights soon so that we won't get that crazy shadowing going on. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.